Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm on this afternoon to show you day 3 of the Boardwalk Fun stamp set and dies. And I'm pretty straight today. I always try to look at it before I go live, but it shows up different in my phone than it does when I actually put it onto Facebook. So, we'll get started here. If you're joining me, if you could comment, that would be great. I like to see the comments. Now, lately, my comments haven't been showing up, but I'm hoping that I can resolve that soon. I've tried a lot of different things that I found online, but they don't seem to work. I really want to be able to go live on YouTube, so if you go to Nana's Stamping Room on YouTube and subscribe to my channel, I only need 7 more subscribers before I could do lives on YouTube, and then for sure I'll be able to see your comments. So today we're going to work on this fast and easy fun fold. It opens like this, so you get to keep your image on the inside. The only difference we're going to do is I'm going to put a piece of basic white behind it so that I have an easier place to write my message and everything. So that's the change we're going to do for today, but this is pretty fast and easy. So first we're going to start with our card base, and I'm going to show you my day 3. This is day 3 up here. 4 and 5 are down here. I just keep this little notebook on my desk with different card ideas. So this card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, which is our normal card base. The DSP is 4 by 5 1/4, and I use this piece of little suns from the Boardwalk Fun paper. On the back, it's a sky with some, I want to say that's like berry burst and balmy blue. So we're going to use this sunshine side, and it's an ombre, so you can see it's lighter. It gets darker at the bottom. It's kind of an ombre image. So, and then I use the dies to cut out these 2 tickets, one in Daffodil Delight and one in Blackberry Bliss. And I used Blackberry Bliss because I thought it popped on the Timid Tiger portion of the paper. So I hope you've had time to take a picture of the measurements, and I will move this and we'll get started. So we're going to fold our card base in half. We're going to use our bone folder. This is always, most times this is our first step. So there we have our base, and then we have our card front, and we're going to use the stamping positioner before. It's just perfect for this roller coaster since it's such a big stamp and it's hard to manipulate it with your hands and everything. I like to use the stamping positioner. Plus, if I get it wrong, I can always re-ink the stamp and stamp right over what I just stamped. So I still have it on here from yesterday, but we know that it's going to change because we want it at the very bottom of this piece of DSP. So I'm going to push it all the way up to the little posts that are up here, and I'm going to line this side up with the 2 just in case it happens to move. And now I think that it's, when you first use the stamp, especially a photopolymer this big, sometimes it wants to stick to the paper, until it gets some ink on it, and then it is not quite as sticky. So today I think I'm only going to need just the, we're going to try it with just the magnets that come with the positioner. This magnet came for my stamp apparatus. It broke, so I had to put some painter's tape on the end of it so it wouldn't scratch me. And I just had it out for when it was new and it was really sticking to the paper. But I'm thinking now that we should be able to use it without it. And so I'm going to lay right down here at the very bottom. I'm going to get the top of it. And I'm going to take these two holes at the top, put them on these posts, pick it up, and then I'm going to lift it up slowly just because it's such a big stamp. And see, we didn't have to have the other magnet on there. We're going to get out the Blackberry Bliss ink. And we're going to ink this up. It's just much easier when you have a big stamp like this to stamp it what looks like upside down. We're going to put this back on the positioner. And we're just going to kind of just rub, because it's such a large image, we're just going to kind of rub a little to be sure it transfers all the ink. We're going to lift it up slowly. And look, we get a perfect image. And if it wasn't perfect, I could re-ink it and re-stamp it, since this will stamp in the same spot every time. So, we have this finished. This one is going to be a fast card today. But I kind of thought this was an interesting fun fold, and it's something that you can use with a lot of different stamps and dies. So we're going to add our glue to the back here. And we're going to, every time I close a stamp pad, I get the ink on my thumbnail. It's just the way I close it, my thumbnail must hit it. So we're going to take this and we're going to get this even with an even border all around. And we're going to take our inside and we're going to stamp "Enjoy the Ride" on a white piece this time. And we're going to see how this looks. It might look better not to have it on white. I just thought it would give you more room to write a message. So we're going to just put "Enjoy the Ride" over here in the corner. Not sure I got that straight. Let me try again. Sometimes it's kind of hard when you're doing a video and not looking right over the stamp to get it straight, but that looks better. So we're going to glue this piece in. I thought about the white after I'd already glued down the roller coaster on this one, and I couldn't very well fit it in there after. So we're going to put this one down. We're going to put "Enjoy the Ride" at the top. We're going to center it. There we go. Now we're going to take this piece, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper snips, and we're just going to cut right along this top portion of the roller coaster. It's not too hard of a image to cut out. You just kind of have to turn your paper as you're cutting rather than turning your scissors. You'll have to excuse my dog. The person across the street is washing their cars today, and he loves to bark when he hears the noise of them. Okay, so we're going to take this piece, and we are going to glue it right down here at the bottom on the white. When I first got Herbie, I had got him from a rescue. I think for like the first 6 months, he never barked at anything. But he's gotten much more used to living here, and he loves to bark when he hears any noise outside. Noises that I can't even hear. But he knows. I looked up to see what it was earlier, and I know it's because they're washing cars across the street. Okay, so now we're going to put our tickets on. First, we're going to stamp this Daffodil Light one with Happy Birthday and the Blackberry Bliss ink. Hey, Herbie, I think it's okay. Why don't you come in here and lay down? Sometimes you just have to give him a little suggestion about things. Not that he always listens. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on the back of the Daffodil Delight and put these tickets together. Well, since I put that at the bottom instead of the top, we're going to switch which way they're on here, because it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to glue them to the front of the card. Now, rather than use embellishments on this one, I used the dies to cut out all these different stars. And I used them as my embellishments. I had some peach pie glitter paper left over, which I thought went well with the colors that we're using today. So, we have all these different little pieces. I'll show you the dies here in a second, how I got these little pieces. Let me find my dies. I laid them over here somewhere. Okay, here's the dies. I used this star and this little star, the big star, and then I used this one which makes this, and then two little teeny ones, and then I wanted an odd number, so I cut out just one more teeny one here. So that's how I cut them out. Usually the big star goes like in the middle of the Ferris wheel, but I just thought it added a little bling to the card, which I love adding bling to my cards. So we're just going to put a few dots of glue on here. And you kind of always want to use an odd number when you're doing embellishments. I see I have a little spot right here. If you ask me why, it's something about your eyes will not compare. Everything won't look as crooked if you have an odd number because your eyes, I don't know how it works really. Something like that. Something about the way your eye will look at it if it has an odd number. I'm not sure whoever figured that out, but that seems to be the rule in art. My mom used to paint, and that's where I first learned about that, how you should always have an odd number. And then when I started Stampin' Up, that was the rule for stamping also. So let's see, we'll put this one right here. I'm trying to follow the way I did it before. And I have an extra one of the big ones, like I said, I cut out because I needed 3 of these, and you only get 2 at a time. These are so teeny, they're kind of hard to pick up. I need this one flipped over. I do love the putty part of my Pick Tool, although mine's getting a little smashed up there and everything. I might have to, I have some new ones in a box here that I ordered to put on there. Okay, so now we'll let those kind of dry. And we have this one left over, so if we wanted to, let's just put this one on the inside. As long as we have an extra one, we shall just put it up here on the inside. There we go. So now it closes like this, and it looks like it's a whole card front until you go to open it, and then the roller coaster stays on the bottom paper. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut out, use the dies and cut out these little cars and glue them over, but I kind of like them this way this time. So, I know this was fast and easy. It only took us 18 minutes. But that way, if you needed to make a quick birthday card or something and you didn't want it just to be the normal card, you know, with nothing fancy, you could use a different, you could use a bunch of flowers down here, or just a lot of different, the sailboat maybe on the water down here. I think that would look pretty. It just gives you a different look for your card. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, and don't forget to join me tomorrow with day 4 of the Boardwalk Fun. Let me see what I'm going to do tomorrow. I already have them all stacked up over here, and perhaps I can grab it. This is what it's going to be tomorrow. I made all these be birthday just because I like the idea of enjoy the ride. But you can also make them be thinking of you or different things. So this will be our card for tomorrow. And then on Friday will be another fun fold called the Bendy card. So stay tuned Thursday and Friday for more Boardwalk Fun. Happy stamping. Bye.